Ba-bum, baby. Ba-bum, baby. Pour a cup, take a break, settle down and join us on a whim. Gentle thoughts, honest talks, it's time for a sip and stim. Hi, I'm Toni.
Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Roz.
Welcome to Sip and Stim, where parenting on the spectrum pairs best with caffeine, coping skills, and stims.
So how are you doing this week, Toni?
Well, I definitely need my coffee. You shared earlier that you haven't had your caffeine, and I haven't either, and I don't know why. Um, so that's something. Um, but going well, things are going well. My baby decided to crawl today, which was pretty exciting. She's 9 months, and she finally did it. So that was pretty fun. How about you
There.
guys?
We we were really busy all weekend. Saturday we went to go to my best friend's child's second birthday. So we were in New Jersey for that, and then we picked up our new cat on the way home.
Was your cat in New Jersey or
He was at a breeder outside of Philadelphia.
okay?
Yeah.
Very
So
fun.
he's a little Himalayan. His name's Leonardo.
Very
He's a
cute. And you were sharing that your other cat got mad and decided to run away.
Yeah, she's around here somewhere. She's just playing hide and seek right now.
Cats tend to do that. They are very moody, but I
Yeah.
love
Oh
them.
yeah, and they hold grudges big time.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, we'll see where everything goes with her. So
So the topic we're talking about today is the other child, the sibling of the individual with autism. And today we have Raj joining us for a second time on Sip and Stim, who's going to be able to share a little bit about her experience with her brother Grayson, who has autism. So thank you so much, Raj, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, what is it like? Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like growing up with your brother Grayson, who has autism? A little bit about your experience there being his sibling?
Well, most of the time, I feel like this house is insane. But other than that, I feel like I'm overlooked and not like getting any attention.
So, you wish you had more time with your parents? Is that like who the attention that you're losing, or is your parents' attention?
Exactly.
That must be quite hard. So, do you feel like you're being overlooked because of Grayson? Like, is there something going on with Grayson that takes attention away from you?
Everything.
Everything. Grayson has quite a bit of needs, huh?
Too many.
Yeah. And he has from what your mom was sharing, it seems like he has a lot of people that are giving him attention.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ever, do you ever wish you had people around supporting you like Grayson, or do you not like all those people around in your space?
It depends. Like, if there was like one person, maybe yeah. But if there was like 200 million, no.
200 million, meaning we have like,
Five.
yeah, we have about five or six at a given time. Um, and it is a lot. I won't lie. And when we have the supervisors who have to come in and do like any type of audit or supervision, it is quite a lot, and it's very overwhelming for everyone involved. So I mean, I totally understand. I get it is very overstimulating, and we have a very chaotic environment here 98% of the time.
So how does that make you feel? I'm sure that probably is hard for you to handle knowing that Ross feels this way and um, that maybe there are some things that Roz might miss out on, attention that she might not be receiving in those times.
Oh yeah. I have mom guilt to like the 10th degree. Um, I there's a lot of things that I did as a child with my mom that I wish I could have done with her. And yeah, I wish that there were a lot of things that I could do with her. There are times where I'm able to do things with her, like when he is at the autism center, or if she and I are kind of hanging out and we have our little like routines that we do if we're staying up in the area around where the center is. Um, but other than that, I mean, we don't really get a whole lot of time just us alone. Um, she tags along for like larger trips and stuff that I do, like going to Jersey, things like that. Um, but I mean, I do try to spend as much time as possible one on one. Derek is really the one who doesn't get a whole lot of time, and that's just because of his work schedule. But now that we have, you know, a DSP and um, we're finally getting respite services, hopefully this month. Um, we're hoping that we'll be able to take her to do more things and maybe even have an overnight without Grayson here.
That'll be something to look forward to. What do you think about that, Roz?
I don't know.
Not sure. Do you feel like a little bit sad thinking about Grayson not being there? Is that kind of what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But
she and I think she and I feel very similar. It's kind of like a bittersweet thing. It's great because, you know, we would be getting sleep and, you know, having that opportunity to kind of actually rest. Um, but when he's not here, it's very lonely. And, you know, you're not really thinking about what he's into in the moment. And I mean, you don't think much when he's not here. It's your brain finally can kind of take a breath. And we're all so used to being like on go mode. And so when you're not on that go mode, it's like you don't really know what to do with yourself. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's bittersweet. We love having him around so much so that I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we would do.
would that be like your first night away from Grayson?
My first night, it would be our first night away from him in, oh my,
Wouldn't it be when he got his foot cut or something?
no, it would be probably since he was like 3 for me. Um, Rosalind, I'm not
For
entirely
me,
sure.
the last time you guys, like,
Well, when you had a sleepover at one of your aunt's houses.
Beba,
Yeah,
which was at least, it was during the school year,
yeah,
and it was when orchestra was still happening. So,
yeah.
like, I'd say October, no,
Yeah, it was a couple months ago.
like November, probably.
Mhm.
What was that like for you to be away having a sleepover?
I couldn't. I couldn't.
What was it hard being away from your family?
I couldn't even. I survived one day. The second day, I couldn't.
She has a rough time being away. Yeah, she likes her own space and her own things and her own routines and things like that. So she's not used to being away and not being in her own spot. So yeah, it's tough for her.
I can get that. So it seems like it's a little bit of a complicated situation where you're really excited to have some time with mom, but then you feel a little sad about not having Grayson. I'm sure there's probably some worry attached to that. Is he okay? Are they watching him well enough? Um, yeah, I can see that. What do you think your first thing is that you're going to want to do with mom when you have your time together? Do you have any like plans or hopes?
Spend my dad's money. Um, uh, spend my mom's money.
What money?
Oh, she's broke. Probably go to like the pool or something.
No, we do have a lot of things that we could be doing, and like she said, so we joined the pool. That's new this year. Um,
I could really be shopping right now.
Okay, have fun. So, yeah, our town pool, they actually do a really nice, reasonable rate for
We're going
families.
tomorrow.
We're going for the first time tomorrow. And Grayson's team gets in for free.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, so they'll be coming along, and I will be taking my work with me and working poolside. The kids will go swimming and stuff, and
Are we gonna have snacks? I'm gonna get hungry.
we'll apparently be packing snacks and everything. So, but yeah, we're going to spend some time at the
8 hours?
at the pool, not 8 hours, but a couple, hours.
2,
Um,
3, 4.
and we'll
4.
see kind of how Grayson does and how his listening skills are. I mean,
We should probably teach him how to swim.
he will have a life vest. I've already kind of prepared, so we'll be good. And I'm interested to see how he does listening to the staff. We actually had a new staff member start today, so interested to see how that will
Work out.
Mhm.
Well, it sounds like fun. I hope it works out well so you guys can enjoy your summer and hopefully does Grayson enjoy swimming or has he never been?
When
He
he was
has.
like 2022, which was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has not been to a pool in 4 years, so he
I
was
have.
6.
I did
So
last year.
yeah, it's been a while. He's probably gonna have to like get used to it again. But the community pool has like a children's pool, and then it also has a wading
A
pool.
huge pool that goes to like 14 feet.
So yeah.
Very nice. You have to let me know how it goes. That sounds like a fun summer activity.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice because it's open for like 8 hours a day. So it'll be nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, Roz, when did you first become aware that Grayson experiences the world differently than you do or others do?
Around, wait, what year, what age was he when he had his first seizure?
His first big seizure.
Yeah, his
Um,
first seizure. Like, grandma.
um,
Like 3?
he was like 2-ish.
I'd say like around 3, I understood.
Okay, so that's kind of when he started showing that, or you started noticing that there was something different with Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was that like for you? Because you're 1 year older than him,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you were 4. So you didn't remember that, did you? Like, have you only known
I
Grayson?
remember like small chunks of it.
Okay.
Like I remember my mom was just vacuuming, doing her own thing, and I was just watching Duke like sniff him weirdly and then start biting my mom's ankles.
So you remember his first seizure?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. At 3. That's intense. That must have been a very, very significant moment for a 3-year-old to remember that.
Yeah, it was
Did
a
you,
bad one.
yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you were feeling, Roz? Were you like scared or do you just have the memory of what happened?
Like I remember running back and forth in circles, screaming. Like, what's happening? What's happening? That's all I really remember.
Yeah. She um she was okay for the most part. She got really upset when we dropped her off at my parents' house on the way to the emergency room. I was in the car behind the ambulance, and I dropped her off, and picked my
I
mom
don't
up.
remember that.
Who My mom came with me to the hospital. Derek was in the ambulance, and it just she was very, very, very concerned over him. And we knew he had medical issues. Um, and we knew he was already on one seizure medication at that time. But we hadn't really kind of had him experience a grand mal. It was mainly he was having like the little petite ones while he was sleeping, but nothing that was like to the point where he was having like anything like this. I mean, he stopped breathing and everything, and it was bad. Um, so yeah, I mean, I could see why it would be so memorable for her.
That must have been like one of your first memories. Was that one of the first things you remember as a young child?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The first thing.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember anything from when I was 4. I only remember 5 and up in that moment.
Wow. That must have been a very, very memorable moment. Yeah. Hard moment to remember, but you were sharing how you kind of feel like you've been like you haven't had as much attention as Grayson has had, and maybe you kind of feel overlooked at times. Like, how do you feel there? Do you feel like you don't want to bother them, or are you able to kind of like ask them for help and come to them as you think you would, even if Grayson weren't there?
I just do whatever I want.
Okay, so you feel like you can still come to your parents and ask them for help, or um,
Mm-mm.
you don't have a problem with like expressing, your thoughts or ideas or needs to them.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Because I think that some people possibly do have that experience, and I'm not sure if you've ever like spoken to any of your friends, Kate, that might have a sibling of a child with autism, and if they've kind of experienced this. But I know, like, for example, my cousin, she's much older than me, and her brother he's in his 50s now. And years later, she expressed to me these things that I never even was in tune to. Similar to what you were sharing, how she just kind of felt like all of the attention always went to her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of felt like she was always pushed to the side. Um, and I've never actually asked her much about this, but um, if she felt like she couldn't be, if she didn't want to be more of a burden to her parents. But I think that is probably a common feeling that some siblings do feel.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Um, yeah, I mean, putting myself in Rosalind's shoes, I would absolutely be afraid that I would be putting more on my parents if I was, you know, feeling like I was being too needy almost, or asking for too much if I needed help or needed something. Um, just because if I was in her position, just seeing how stressed and, busy. I mean, my life literally revolves around Grayson. I eat, breathe, sleep, everything Grayson. And it's I mean, I know it's not fair to her. And seeing, I'm sure that seeing me devote all of my time and energy to him is probably very upsetting and frustrating. Um, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to ask for anything that would, put more on my mom. So um, yeah, and honestly, she really only asks for help when she absolutely needs it. She has really kind of developed to be like a self-sufficient child. And at 11 years old, that's not what we wanted for her, but it's just kind of the cards that we've all been dealt. So, um, but I mean, she's doing amazing things. She does amazing things at school. She does great things here. Um, and everybody who meets her, I mean, says that she's a wonderful child, and I mean, not toot my own horn, but I would have to agree. She's pretty cool. So
And she's a recent elementary school graduate,
yeah.
moving on to bigger and better things. So are you excited for middle school?
Yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah, so I think it's probably a little bit different for Roz just because life has never been without Grayson. So she probably, I'm guessing you probably can't even compare what you felt like before or after Grayson because it probably really didn't exist, but 15 months. Um, so it does make it a little bit challenging to compare.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And as your mom shared, that you're very self-sufficient for your age. Do you feel like you're more mature for your age than maybe your friends are at school, or do you feel like a different maturity level when you're comparing yourself to others at school?
Not really.
No? Okay. Well,
I
that's
do
good.
have something to add to like the comment about like the more attention, especially when I was younger. I'd be like, because Grayson used to get like everything he wants, and I would be like, Grayson. I was like, why does he get everything that he wants and I don't?
That's still a very common comment
No.
that happens. Um, and I fully acknowledge he often does get everything and anything he wants. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's I think it's just we've turned into like the parents that will just buy everything and anything until we find something that works or something that we find that he likes, and then we stockpile it. Um, and with Rosalind, she's a girl, she likes different things, and typically the things she's into are just more expensive, and it's it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I feel really bad. I wish that I could give her everything that she wants, like Grayson does, but um, I can't buy her like 20 iPads and
That's
things like
not what
that.
I want.
So,
Actually, maybe yeah. My iPads are pretty dumb.
uh-huh.
I heard iPads, so you have multiple iPads.
You have to. They're both dumb.
Well, that's two more than some kids have, so at
It's two
least you
more
have
than
You have
that.
I don't have one.
you do have one. Purple and it's small.
That thing died like 5 years ago.
Wait,
I don't
what?
even know where it is. It was like an iPad mini from like 2010, maybe.
No, you're older than that.
Okay.
More like 1985.
Oh, great.
Because you're older than that.
Yeah. So, anywho,
So does it make sense to you though when you hear your mom like share about kind of like how why Grayson kind of gets more things that he wants and you don't, obviously the things that you're interested in like iPads are more expensive, but do you understand? Does that make sense to you why Grayson gets, she buys things for him and has a lot of them, or does that not make any sense to you?
Like, it depends on what thing. Like, I don't get, like, why she spends everything on him.
I don't spend everything.
Majority.
It seems like I'm guessing a lot of the things that you purchase are just things that help him to stay engaged. I'm guessing working on communicating, probably helping him to cope. Um, that's what I would guess. So it seems like it might be a little bit different, but I'm sure it's still very hard to see and to wonder, why am I not getting that? Um, so you said you kind of feel like you're overlooked. Do you feel like you're invisible sometimes? Like people don't see you or notice you?
Kinda.
Kinda.
This kid has more toys than the whole entire USA combined.
He has a lot of toys, yes. Um, they kind of take over everywhere.
4 bins right now that are huge, like this big. Who are we looking at?
That it's not just me.
Majority.
See, the thing is, when you have a large family like me, I have, 4 sisters. So it's just they all buy him stuff. And then, my dad buys him a lot of stuff,
And then I lose everything.
and it just happens that way. So it is,
Actually, most of my toys are in the basement. I have like 5 bins of Barbies.
yeah, 5 bins of Barbies. So so yeah, just things like that. Someday I will go through the toys and I'll get rid of the old ones. I've been saying that for like 4 years.
Grayson loves Barbies. He likes to dress them up
Hmm.
in men's clothes.
Oh, he's exploring fashion styles.
I used to play Barbies with the little boy that I grew up with too, so it's pretty normal for me.
Hmm.
Ross, do you ever feel like you have to like hide your emotions because mommy and daddy might be too busy with Grayson, or do you feel like you can be open about your emotions with them no matter what's going on?
I'd say like maybe like 3 years ago, but now like not really.
Okay. What changed?
Mm,
Are you like more confident now?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Well, I'm glad that you feel like you can express how you're feeling. That's good.
I think she also learned a little bit, with her therapy, and, she does music therapy and things like that. I think that has really helped her kind of develop some coping skills and skills to be able to say how she's feeling. And that, I mean, it's proven to be helpful. She's We're really getting back into the music therapy now that school's out. And she enjoys it. She gets to talk about herself and, her relationship with Grayson and things like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that that has also helped a bit too.
That's great. I love music therapy. Whenever I see a child that really benefits from learning through music, I'm always encouraging parents to look into that. I
Mhm.
think it's such a great therapy.
Yeah.
Uh, do you guys have any like tips, or even you, just Kate, about like how to prevent resentment with your child? Um, any strategy that you might have to kind of help when when you have multiple children, one that has the primary, the more significant disability. Any tips on that on how to deal with that and prevent resentment?
Be honest. Honestly, that probably the best thing that we could have done for her. Um, I think being honest with yourself and your expectations and your reality. Um, the reality of things. I always wanted to have a daughter and wanted to be able to go and do fun girly things with her, and do like spa things and get my nails done and go to the movies and stuff like that. But realistically, once Grayson was born, and we found out how severe his needs were going to be, um, that those expectations and
Vanish.
plans kind of, yeah, they vanished basically. um, so being honest with yourself and being able to say, that that is just not going to happen, um, that's really kind of hard to admit. um, and then being honest with your other child, being able to say, I'm sorry that I know I'm not giving you enough attention. I know I'm neglecting you in social ways, or ways that, you would prefer me to be able to give you more attention and things like that. It's just, I can't do that right now. Um, it's upsetting, and it's hard. It's hard to see your other, child upset and frustrated, and often, you know, angry at you. But, just, I think honesty is the best policy. Yeah, you've just got to be, and we have been very honest since the start with her. Um, as soon as he was even an infant, we knew that, it was going to be tough having a 15-month-old and a brand new baby. Um, but when he started having the problems, that's when we really were clear with her, and we did an age appropriate type sit down and kind of explain to her, like, look, this is what this is going to be like. And we've just been very blunt since day one.
Yes, I think that's a really good approach at being honest with one another. And I imagine that on the flip side, it's really beneficial for a sibling if they're able to communicate those things, to be honest with their parents as well. Um, and like I was sharing about my cousin, I mean, this overshadowing or this kind of getting lost in the limelight, that some siblings feel, this kind of manifested for my cousin a lot later on in life in adulthood. And it actually wasn't until her father passed away that she shared this with me.
Mm.
Um, so I'm not sure if she was aware of this prior or not, but that was the first time she ever shared it with me. So I think being honest with one another is a really good policy in general, for this kind of thing. Now, Roz is only 15 months older, and like
Mm.
she's never probably been in the situation where felt comfortable letting her watch Grayson, because you're not gonna ask a 15-month older sibling to do so.
Yeah.
But like I know, for example, like I have four kids myself. My oldest is 7, my baby's 9 months old. And then actually her twin brothers are 15 months younger. So similar, like very same age gap between my oldest three. But the one thing that I've always told myself was, as a mom, that if I choose to have a larger family, I won't ever take that approach of where the oldest one is the caregiver.
Hmm.
I think that's a thing that can just happen even in households that don't have neurodivergent children.
Hmm.
Um, but I imagine that's something that could come up with families that do have children that have special needs. Because I'm sure like having an extra hand is always necessary, um, or helpful, appreciate
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm assuming that they'll probably be very similar in a neurodivergent household, to kind of take a similar approach, and let your kids be kids as much as possible.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I do think teaching responsibility is good, but not in that form per se. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely can agree with you there. And, like I said, coming from a larger family of, 5 girls, the the expectation was that we helped out with the younger ones. And when my mom went back to work full time from being a stay-at-home mom, um, my oldest sister, who is 10, no, 9 years older than me, um, she really took on like the role as like the leader of the bunch. Um, and she kind of made sure that we came home from school, we had our homework done, we were fed, and we were basically ready for whatever when my mom got home. And that was that was a lot, considering she was like 17 years old and the youngest in our family compared to her age is like 15 years younger than her, 15 or 16 years younger. So, I mean, she was old enough to be my youngest sister's mom, basically. Um, and often I'm sure she felt like she was because she was just always doing something for the house or doing something for the kids. Um, and I always vowed that I would never have kids that did that. Um, Even now, I think we're very lenient when it comes to doing chores. Like somebody doesn't have like any. Um, and I like back when I was a kid, like I was doing chores pretty much all day, every day on Saturdays. So it's just that I just didn't want to have a repeated kind of that. And you see a lot of parents who they always joke and say, "Oh, well, we had kids so that we, had little workers and blah blah blah," and that's just not. We didn't want that, and we're much happier without having that expectation on our kids.
Yeah, I think it's a healthy expectation and to allow your kids to be children. Um, and again, I think responsibility is really good, but I think it's definitely a balancing act of how much, what. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think we all look at our past, our upbringing, and think what we can bring into that to our, experience of raising our children if we choose to be parents,
Mm-hmm.
um, or what we should not bring into it. And I think that's just like human nature. We take the good and we leave the bad,
Yeah.
as much as possible. So, Roz, you were sharing that you kind of feel like you have a good relationship with your dad and you're able to share a lot with him. Like, um, do you ever share when you're feeling badly? Maybe you're feeling angry or sad because of, you know, the way that being Grayson's sibling kind of takes away from your attention or makes you kind of feel like you're invisible a little bit. Do you share those feelings with your dad?
um, Most of the time, yes, but sometimes no.
Okay. How does he make you feel? Does he take it well? Does he make you feel badly for feeling those ways?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You know how they say there's one parent for each side of the coin. There's one who is the fun one, and then there's one who is like the, you know, crack the whip. This is the
Disciplinarian.
yes. Now we don't spank, and there's no whips here or anything, so don't use those around. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the one who I'm very much on a routine, and I expect.
Yell.
I don't yell.
Yeah, you
Um,
do.
I just expect.
Perfection.
I wouldn't say perfection. I expect assistance at times.
Nope.
Especially when it comes to like somebody's own bedroom that is a mess and
Hey,
needs to be cleaned up.
that was a nice.
Yeah, I just feel like dad is fun and games and everything's great. And I look like the bad one because I'm serious and I try to get things done around the house and I'm very busy and I am not yelling and
R
I'm not
R
very strict.
R.
I
And
just I just I have expectations. Dad is a little bit more.
let's party.
There you go.
I get that contrast. I definitely feel like I can side with you a little bit, Kate, on that.
Wait,
I'm not.
what? Why not me?
I
Well,
get your side as well. Yeah, I get it. I'm saying I can relate to your mom a little bit more in terms of I'm not navigating a child's therapy schedules and I'm not kind of dealing with my life revolving around that, but I would say in my world and the things that are revolving in my world, I definitely find myself in those routines, and it's hard to break myself out of that sometimes. So I can relate. But on the flip side, I get that, Roz. It must be fun to have a dad that wants to party all the time. So I'm sure that's a lot of fun.
Maybe for them. So aside from, the two parents being, either the good cop or the bad cop, um, there is a silver lining to having two kids so close together, and just seeing the bond that, our kids have had, um, even with Grayson's, severe needs. It's been really great being able to see how close they've grown together and how much they've just experienced together, really honestly, through the years. um I think they honestly, Grayson just adores her so much, and he just he's just in love with her. I mean, he would probably choose her over Derek and I any day. um but yeah, I mean, they just have that unspoken connection, that, even when he was very little, he would cry or like make a noise, and she could decipher what he wanted before any of us even could. Like she just could read him so well, and even now, she still could read him very, very well. Um, and it's very sweet to see.
Yeah, that sounds similar to how my children are with my oldest three being 15 months apart. I can relate to that.
Mhm.
The bond for sure is definitely special. Now, I'm not sure if you and Grayson have a similar type vibe that mine do. I mean, it's 50-50 they're best friends, and 50-50 they're getting on each other's nerves. I mean, I'm assuming you still have that kind of.
Yeah, but honestly, it's not that much. If they are fighting at all, it's usually something really big, or it's
Making
because
me annoyed.
Grayson has gone in her room and like done something bad. But I would say, probably like 80% of the time, it's all positive. It's not really bad. And I mean, she loves her brother.
What do you mean by that?
She does. She loves her brother, and they are very sweet together. And he just loves to just come up and give her kisses and hugs and stuff. And it is it's really cute. It is very, very cute.
So, Roz, I know that Grayson's really special to you, and you guys have a very strong bond. And I'm sure over time your relationship has changed. So I know when you were younger, your mom was sharing that you kind of really knew his cries, and you were able to communicate those things. Have things changed at all as you guys have gotten older? Is your relationship any different?
Not really.
No?
You still know when he's not feeling well,
Yeah.
and if he is having a bad day and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he knows when you are?
Mm-hmm. Ask him.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if he does, because if she's like crying or like having like a little bit of a hard time, he'll come up to her and give her like a hug and stuff like that. Or my favorite's when he comes up and he gives her like a sniff of her hair, and
Like,
then yeah, he smells her hair and then hugs her. It's really cute. Um, but sometimes I wonder if he knows, because he always conveniently does it at like the best time that just happens to be like during the worst time. So, uh, but yeah, no, I think that their relationship, for the most part, I mean, with the exception of like typical age things, I think it has pretty much stayed the same as it was back when they were like little tiny babies in their diapers. But
So it's so nice to hear that you guys have had such a strong relationship and it's really stayed constant over the years. When you think about Grayson, Roz, what do you hope for him most in the future?
That he can like do stuff on his own more.
More independence?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's very important. I think that I would think that that's probably one of mom's hopes as well. Um,
Yeah. And I think being able to, just have more reliable and consistent communication would be really great to see.
Yeah, I think those two things are both very important, independence and communication. I think that's what a lot of us want for our loved ones that have autism. Yeah, very important. So thank you both so much for taking the time today. Roz, thank you for joining us and sharing a little bit about your experience as Grayson's sister. I think really what kind of summarizes the whole topic is that there's definitely this tug of war with um, a multitude of emotions and feelings, guilt and love and feeling very loyal to your sibling, yet feeling sad due to missing out on certain experiences. I think it's not a simple topic and there's not really a simple answer. But I think you gave some good tips. Honesty is the best policy. Um, and hopefully, maybe there's some other tips or ideas or thoughts that our listeners have out there. We would love to hear those things as well.
Yeah, and to anyone listening who may kind of have this resonate with you, whether you're a sibling, a parent, or part of a family with a neurodivergent individual, I hope that this kind of gives you some insight and helps you out a little bit. Just knowing that you aren't the only family going through this, I hope it gives you a little bit relief. You aren't the only people who are going through this. We are as well. And I know there are probably hundreds and hundreds of more families that are doing this too.
Yeah, I think that's a very important takeaway, Kate, to our listeners, that anyone feeling alone to know that you are not alone. And we encourage you to reach out if you are feeling that way. We're here. We hope that this podcast helps you to feel as if there are others that can understand the place that you're in right now. And thank you again, Roz, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Next week, we will be discussing the babysitter dilemma and how it's almost impossible to find help, train people, handle protocols, and the guilt of needing a break. We'll discuss some creative solutions that actually work.
Please like and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our podcast. We can be found on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Remember to comment and tell us what topics you would like to see us cover. See you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Sip and stim. Sip and stim.
I did great. What's for dinner?
Oh my God.
Hungry.